Hey boys and girls, good morning. Today's lesson is going to be starting with filling in the chart for inside and outside traits of our characters. Now the other day we had characters from a book called Cranberry Thanksgiving. Cranberry Thanksgiving, boys and girls, I told you was a mystery. Sometimes people, when you look at them, are not really the people you think they are. And I think we found that out when we met Mr. Horace. Mr. Horace looked wonderful. He looked like a friendly guy, a nice guy. He looked like maybe he would be an honest guy. And from the outside, his suit, his gold cane, his shiny teeth made me think, okay, he might be a person who would be a good person. I'm going to show you, boys and girls, once again, and I want you to pay attention because a lot of you are still not understanding this. When you look at a person from the outside, if you were looking at me, you would say, Mrs. Murray has blonde hair, she has glasses, she has earrings, she has a green shirt. You would not say, boys and girls, from the outside that I am nice, that I am a good person, that I am friendly. You would not see that. You would say things you see. I have blue nail polish, I have glasses, I have red lipstick, I have brown eyes. Those are the things you see with your eyes that you can tell me about a character. Boys and girls, tell me about Mr. Whiskers from the outside. If you look at Mr. Whiskers, let's see if I can find a good big picture for you. You can see, this one's a pretty good one. Check the status of that. You can see that he, from the outside, boys and girls, what does he look like? Ready? You're gonna tell me outside. What do we see with our eyes? We're gonna say, what did you say, boys and girls? Oh, he has whiskers. He has black eyes. He has dirt on his face. And I saw another picture, boys and girls, and it showed me his uniform. Mr. Whiskers used to be a captain of a boat. Here he is. See him? He's wearing a uniform. What color is it? What can you see with your eyes? Oh, it's blue and it has gold buttons. Good job. So he has a blue uniform and he has gold buttons. Boys and girls, can you see with your eyes if Mr. Whiskers is a nice, now you know I hate that word because it's like a kindergarten word, nice. Can you see if he's a good person, an honest person, a friendly person? He looks kind of grumpy if I'm looking at him with my eyes. But maybe that's not the kind of person he really is. What did you learn, boys and girls, from the inside of Mr. Whiskers? And that means inside of his heart or inside of his brain. What'd you learn, boys and girls? You learned that Mr. Whiskers was really very kind inside. He was very protective. What does protective mean, boys and girls? I protect you from something that might hurt you. I am a protective person. I would protect you from not getting hurt. He protected Mr. Whiskers, protected grandmother and Maggie from getting hurt by someone that we were kind of surprised was a bad guy. Protective, kind. What else could we say about him? From his inside of his heart, I think I'm going to put down loving, because he really was a good friend to Rachel. And I'm going to say inside his brain, he is pretty smart, boys and girls, because I think he's the one who kind of thought, I better watch this Mr. Horace guy. I'm not really trusting him. All right, Maggie, outside. I look at her. Let me get a good picture of her and see if I can show you. Very simple, boys and girls. I'm only looking at this girl, Maggie, with my eyes, and I'm saying what I see in the picture. Do I see Maggie and say, oh, she's very loving? No, I can't see loving here, boys and girls. You can't tell that Mrs. Murray is loving. I may not be loving. I may be a grump. I may be grouchy. What can you see on Maggie? Check it out. Think about it. Okay, now tell me. I heard somebody say brown hair. Yep, brown hair. I heard someone else say she has red bows in her hair. Red bows. I see for myself, she has rosy cheeks, and she has a white shirt on. Those things you see with your eyes on the outside. Mrs. Murray's blonde hair, her glasses, her earrings, her lipstick, her eye color, her green shirt. Understand? Inside, what can we tell from the things that Maggie did? What can we tell about Maggie? Well, she invited Mr. Whiskers to Thanksgiving, and he hadn't been to a Thanksgiving dinner in forever. So I'm going to say the word kind. I'm going to use the word loving with her. And at what point in the story, boys and girls, do you remember? She peeked through and saw Mr. Horace She saw Mr. Horace stealing their famous cranberry recipe. So I'm going to say here, she's pretty smart, boys and girls. She is pretty smart to keep her eye on Mr. Horace, because she knew, I don't know about this fellow. I'm going to put caring too. You know why? Because she really cares about Mr. Whiskers. He's all by himself. All right, grandmother. Grandmother is an interesting character, boys and girls. Here she is. She's got a little smile on her face. Okay, and here she is over here. All right, let me see if I can get a really good picture for you. And grandmother is interesting. From the outside, boys and girls, only the outside. Don't think about her being loving, caring, mommy-ish, and huggy, and good, and friendly. Okay? Think about her outside. What does she look like? She's got an apron on. Apron. She has gray hair. She has a bun in her hair. And she has glasses. Tell me, boys and girls, on the inside now, from the very beginning of this story, grandmother said, I'm going to keep that recipe away from that Mr. Whiskers. I don't trust him. Okay, so I believe I know a good word for that. She was not trusting him. I'm going to put this big long word here, boys and girls. Suspicious. I don't think I spelled it right, Kate. I think I spelled it wrong. Suspicious. That means that she's not trusting. I'm going to put not. Check it out for me, please, Kate. She's not trusting people, especially Mr. Whiskers. She's like, oh, he's going to get my recipe. I better hide it. Okay? I think she's very caring, no, boys and girls. She obviously loves Maggie. And she actually cared enough about a stranger, Mr. Horace, to invite him to Thanksgiving dinner in their house. Maybe she shouldn't have done that, boys and girls. It was a mystery, right?
Yeah.
So if it was
that seed didn't belong.
If
That's right. That's right.
Thank you. We're gonna go to Mr. Horace now. Mr. Horace comes to the door. He's been invited for Thanksgiving. He comes to the door, and he's standing next to Mr. Whiskers, and he looks a lot different than Mr. Whiskers. Oh, here, I like this part, boys and girls. You scoot! Go away now. I'm making my cranberry bread. And she yells it to Mr. Whiskers because she's not trusting him. She's suspicious. If I look at this grandma, can I tell just by looking at her face that inside of her heart she's not trusting? No. From the outside, boys and girls, all I know about grandma is she got an apron, she got gray hair, she got a bun in her hair, she got glasses. Outside. But when I listen to her actions, what she's doing, I find out that she's suspicious. She's not trusting. She invited Mr. Horace to dinner. She's caring. What do her actions tell me about her being inside? Mr. Horace. Let me find that good picture of him standing at the door with Mr. Whiskers. So here's Mr. Horace. He looks a lot different than Mr. Whiskers. My telling about Mr. Whiskers was that he had whiskers, black eyes, dirt on his face, blue uniform, gold buttons. I'm going to put here red nose. I like his red nose. He had a really red nose. Okay. But I look at Mr. Horace, boys and girls, and I see he has a smile on his face with big teeth. He has a smile with big teeth. It's always nice to see people's teeth, boys and girls, because you kind of say, that's a really nice smile. But is Mr. Horace a nice guy? I don't know. I don't know about the inside of him yet. I'm looking on the outside. He has a gold cane. That must make him very, ta-ta, darling. Must make him very fancy. And he also has a new suit. Maybe he's rich, boys and girls. He also got a tie on. See his tie? I'm gonna put that here. He has a tie. And he also is carrying a present. That is something I can see from the outside. Who do you think that present is for, boys and girls? I think it must be for grandmother and Maggie, right? All right. I can see those things from the outside, boys and girls. What do you know about Mr. Horace? Okay? I'm going to turn to the page that says boom, clash, bang, crash. And I'm going to say, what is going on here? Maggie yells out, grandmother, he's taken your recipe. And then there's a crash, a bang, a swoop. And two men are running after each other. What did we learn, boys and girls, about Mr. Horace? He's a robber. He's from a company that's a big, big bakery, and they want her recipe. Grandma's recipe is so famous, boys and girls, they even put it on the back of this book. And Mr. Horace, He wants that recipe. He tried to get it, but Mr. Whiskers is after him. So now I'm saying to you, boys and girls, is Mr. Horace a nice person? Is he an honest person? In his heart, is he doing the right thing? No. He may look like a good person, but he is not. He is dishonest. He is not someone we can trust. We can't what's another word?
Untrustworthy.
I could have said that, yeah. What's another one? Okay, he's dishonest, boys and girls. We can't trust him. I think he's this.
Harlequin.
I think he's a liar. He said he was there to have Thanksgiving dinner, but he really was only there to steal the recipe. And in the end, boys and girls, the kindness, kind, and the caring of Mr. Whiskers, Maggie, and grandmother toward Mr. Horace tells us that, you know what? He really is a bad person, but they're so good that they actually let him come in and enjoy a piece of cake with them while they're having dessert. So they're really good people. Mr. Horace maybe shouldn't have gotten the chance to have the cake with them, but they let him. And here's Mr. Whiskers, and he says, "How about a song?" And they start to sing Mr. Whiskers' favorite song, because even his songs are not that bad. He's a good person. He's got some good songs. Okay, do you understand, boys and girls? If you can see it, it's on the outside. If you are talking about what is inside of me, you gotta know me. So if I wrote Mrs. Murray up there, I might put nice, kind, patient. Got it? Okay. Think about this, and we're gonna fill out another chart like this today for another character from a story.